Chaos Clash just dropped, and while it's not the greatest mode ever created, it's the kind of mode you switch to after a painful ranked losing streak, when you just want to turn your brain off and play without dealing with your questionable teammates or the urge to uninstall the game. In this mode, you either pick a strong hero and feel like an unbeatable raid boss, or you pick the wrong hero and spend 10 minutes regretting every decision in your life. I've been grinding this mode since launch, testing heroes, chaos fragments, and different strategies, and today I'm ranking the top 7 heroes that consistently give the highest win rate in Chaos Clash. Before getting into the rankings, let's quickly go over how Chaos Clash works, because this will explain why the top 7 heroes are so strong. This mode has 6 teams with 3 players each. Every round, you face a different team, and after each round, you gain gold, experience, and get to choose a fragment that can boost your stats. Because of that, the game gets more unbalanced every single round. It isn't ranked, and it isn't classic. It's just non-stop fighting without overthinking anything. The strongest heroes in this mode are the ones who can sustain long fights and deal constant damage without relying on long cooldown skills and combos. Heroes that have strong healing, high HP, consistent damage output, and reliable AoE skills rise to the top, because they can survive heavy pressure while still dealing damage non-stop. Heroes that need time to scale or need perfect positioning tend to struggle. The most reliable team combinations are 2 fighters with a marksman or a tank with a fighter and a marksman. Having all squishy or scaling heroes is basically asking to lose unless the enemy team chooses to donate themselves. You need a combination of frontline, damage, sustain, and early to late round pressure. Having a balanced lineup is the key. Now that we understand what works in Chaos Clash, let's get into the ranking. Alright, now that the meta is clear, let's go through the list from number 7 to number 1. Before that, one quick general note that applies to almost everyone in this mode. Super Thunderbelt is extremely strong in Chaos Clash. Putting it on tanks or sustained fighters gives absurd tankiness, and it scales very well with the mode's buffs. The fragment that gives around 2 seconds of death immunity is also a huge game changer for sustain heroes, since it often lets you survive burst and escape fights you should not live through. On squishy heroes, movement speed or conceal style fragments are surprisingly valuable because they let you reposition or escape when the safe zone collapses. Kicking things off at number 7 is Jawhead. Jawhead is strong in Chaos Clash for one main reason: forced displacement. Even though teams do not really snowball in this mode, Jawhead can still decide individual rounds very easily. His second skill allows him to throw enemies out of position or straight out of the safe zone at any point in the match. The most effective way to play him is to get a single early damage item, usually Hunter Strike, and then switch fully into defense. His base damage plus that one item is already enough to threaten squishy heroes. After that, you want to stack health and defensive stats through items and fragments. His real kill pressure comes from tossing enemies out of the zone and then using Flame Shot to finish them with the final knockback. If you aim properly and focus on positioning instead of damage stacking, Jawhead remains useful from the first round to the last. Number 6, Akai. Akai is all about controlling space, and Chaos Clash gives him the perfect environment to do that. As the safe zone shrinks, fights happen in tighter and tighter areas. Akai's ultimate becomes incredibly oppressive here because it lets him decide who stays inside the zone and who does not. Instead of life steal, Akai benefits far more from pure defensive fragments and high health. The fragment that allows you to cast your ultimate again immediately after using it once is especially strong, since it lets you completely shut down movement in small circles. If you are patient and wait for the zone to shrink before committing your ultimate, Akai can win rounds almost on his own. Taking the number 5 spot is Zhong. Zhong is terrifying in Chaos Clash because of his passive healing. Even when built mostly defensive, he deals a surprising amount of damage while constantly sustaining himself in long fights. His core idea is simple: get War Axe early, then focus on sustain and defensive items while stacking health and defense through fragments. Hunter Strike can be useful early for movement and pressure, but it is usually best replaced later with Malefic Roar to gain penetration against tanky enemies. His dragon form is extremely valuable in this mode. It lets him chase enemies, zone squishy heroes into corners, and disrupt positioning in shrinking safe zones. The fragment that allows you to cast your ultimate again after using it once is especially deadly on you, Zhong, and can completely overwhelm enemy teams. At number 4 is Karrie. Chaos Clash gives everyone bonus health, and that is exactly what Karrie wants. Her strength comes from building heavy attack speed through the Trinity build and other attack speed items. Once that core is online, she can focus on penetration items to deal with tankier enemies. If you can roll lifesteal-related fragments, her survivability improves significantly, allowing her to stay in fights much longer than expected. Karrie does not care how tanky the enemy gets. With enough attack speed, health bars simply disappear. At number 3 on the list is Kimmy. Kimmy works so well in Chaos Clash because her damage is constant, and she can keep moving while attacking. This mode rewards sustained pressure and mobility, and Kimmy excels at both. Attack speed, burn effects, and movement speed, fragments all stack extremely well on her. On squishier heroes like Kimmy, movement speed and conceal style fragments are especially useful. They help her escape bad situations and reposition when the safe zone collapses. As long as you keep moving and avoid standing still to duel melee heroes, Kimmy slowly drains the enemy team round after round. Just missing the top spot at number 2 is Phoveus. Phoveus may feel a bit slow in ranked games, but Chaos Clash completely fixes that weakness. With the safe zone constantly shrinking, enemies are forced into movement and dashes, which directly feeds into Phoveus's kit. Every dash gives him more opportunities to engage and deal damage. A very important detail is that every time Phoveus casts his ultimate, he becomes untargetable for a short moment. In Chaos Clash, this helps him avoid burst damage and survive in the middle of fights. Like you, Zhong, Phoveus benefits greatly from War Axe early, followed by sustain and defensive items. With the right fragments, he becomes extremely hard to kill while punishing mobile heroes non-stop. Taking the top spot at number 1 is Thamuz. Thamuz takes the top spot because he perfectly fits what Chaos Clash rewards. He deals true damage, shreds enemies over time, and thrives in long fights where people cannot disengage easily. His ultimate gives healing based on his maximum health, which means stacking attack speed and HP makes him stronger without needing complicated builds. Super Thunderbelt works extremely well on Thamuz, and defensive or health-based fragments push his survivability even further. You do not need perfect fragment rolls to make him work. As long as you stay in the fight and keep attacking, Thamuz eventually outlasts and outdamages most teams. That's the list. If you think a hero should be higher or lower, drop it in the comments. I'm genuinely curious what's been working for you. If you want more Chaos Clash content like builds, fragment tier lists, or team comps that actually make sense, let me know what you want next. Until then, good luck in Chaos Clash. Hopefully this time, the game treats you a little better than ranked.